I want to tell you, I bought a new refrigerator. I don't know if you've had to purchase a refrigerator in the past handful of years.
No, not really.
But chances are you will, because refrigerators do not I remember the refrigerator we had. My grandmother had a refrigerator that was, I think they brought from Eastern Europe. I think they had a little knapsack, and they brought the Frigidensky. So anyway, I remember these refrigerators that would last for decades. Now I am on my third. It is my third refrigerator in 20 years.
And you're a bachelor, for crying out. You don't have.
I hate that word, by the way.
No,
it just sounds like what does it sound like? It sounds like a 1955.
Courtship of Eddie's father. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm in between failed relationships.
Okay, yeah, but you don't have a bunch of people in the house
So
opening. That's good. That's very good. Opening up the door every day. So you don't, unless you're constantly opening up.
I'm
the door.
Constantly opening up the door.
So 3 in 20 years.
Yeah, the compressors go. The last refrigerator I had was a refrigerator made by a company that used to tout how reliable they were. They're no longer reliable.
They had that one spokesman on TV for a generation, Jesse White.
Yeah, let's assume
Am I
maybe you're correct, because I am not a fan of their recent products, because they the ones that I had, what's the technical word, didn't work well. But anyway, I had a refrigerator that lasted maybe 7 or 8 years. And it did everything that a refrigerator is supposed to do, with a possible exception of keeping things cold. And I don't know, call me a stickler, but
you prefer to have your milk.
I prefer to have, you know, if you put in ground meat, you want it to stay. You don't want it to decompose actually in your refrigerator, and you don't want milk to become a solid. And that's what was happening. I mean, my refrigerator was about 60 degrees. So anyway, I had to buy a new refrigerator. And the other thing is they're no longer what we call inexpensive.
Oh, they are definitely. Because they have all the extra accoutrement, the water and the ice and all that stuff.
But I must say, my last refrigerator had the ice and water in the door. My new refrigerator does not. Because I was thinking about this. It adds a few $100s for what is essentially supposed to be a convenience. But here's my thought on that. First of all, it's the first thing it's going to break is my theory. But the more fundamental issue for me was the ice could either be in the door. If it's not there, where is it? It's right behind the door, which is only 3 inches deep.
It really is.
So if I can't, and this was what pushed me over, because I'm thinking, if I can't open a refrigerator door to get ice is probably the last thing I need. So anyway, I now have a clean stainless steel front refrigerator, which is really quite nice. And now the trend, because I'm a trendy guy when it comes to appliances, is the freezer is on the bottom.
Oh, that's very trendy.
Yeah, and it allows us to. It's kind of an aerobic. It's a cardiovascular thing, because I have to lean down to.
Right.
It's
actually
should be squats.
I bet you can
now
store.
It's meat ups.
But you can store more, I think, that way. It's more effective, because I'll tell you what. Now that we're on this topic, we have to take a break here, but refrigerator and freezer arrangement. There ought to be a company or maybe you could.
There's a feng shui.
A feng shui, because
refrigerator.
I look in my wife is the greatest wife. You know my wife.
I know your wife.
Fantastic, and she's so organized and so wonderful.
Does she list Does she really take? Is she a good refrigerator manager?
No.
Okay.
No, and she's two things that are her Achilles heel. One is the newspaper is just a complete disaster as soon as it arrived. The other thing is the refrigerator and freezer. So I occasionally do a refrigerator and freezer sweep, if you will, and I think the fact that you have it on the bottom, much easier to stack.
Well, there's a chicken that becomes it takes on a molecular structure that really chickens. It's nowhere near chicken when it's done. So that's a problem. And the other problem is you can get some vegetables that you cannot defrost, no matter how you try. But I find in the refrigerator side, that's where the real problem is. The freezer I have no problem with. The refrigerator is when you find small food that hides behind big food.
Oh, it does.
And this goes bad.
Yeah.
I keep leftovers. I don't like to throw food away. But I will put it in the refrigerator knowing that I will never eat it. I don't know if you do that. I mean, I will put it in the refrigerator knowing I will never eat this again,
right.
But I do not feel good about throwing it away until it goes bad.
And do you also have occasion to put things that belong, say, in the vegetable bin, other things than vegetables in there? I have a real problem when a non-vegetable winds up in the vegetable bin.
That's a little obsessive, isn't it?
It is. We were talking about your refrigerator, and I didn't want to end there. What's the final outcome?
Well, the final outcome is I have a new refrigerator now, and it's keeping things cold, I think
nice.
Is the word that I'm looking for. What astounded me was the ability of these guys who deliver refrigerators to get a refrigerator. I have a house that the kitchen is actually on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
You may ask why, but it's actually a kind of a Brookline two-family house. So I live on the second and third floor. So my kitchen is then on the second floor. So they have, and to get to a second floor, traditionally in homes, I don't know if you've studied architecture, but there's stairs. So they had to get this refrigerator up a set of stairs, and I thought there's absolutely no way they're going, because this is a big refrigerator. And two guys, a 400-pound refrigerator. It's schlepping is what it is. I have no idea how.
I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think there's enough appreciation for people who move, whatever it is, furniture of any kind or appliances. They unsung heroes.
No, I sang to them.
Oh, you did?
Yes. I said you have been unsung long enough. I'm singing for you, thank you. But they took the doors off,
right.
Not of my house, but of the refrigerator, and they carted this thing. It was monstrously heavy, and they jockeyed it upstairs and around corners, and it was really quite astounding.
Let me ask you another appliance question, because this has been bugging me. Toasters versus toaster ovens. I'm really, no, seriously, folks, we have in my office during the day, we have an old school looking but brand new toaster that pops up. Fantastic. At home, this is the 5th or 6th toaster oven we've had. Now, the idea of a toaster oven is you can toast little cheese toasties and that. Here's the problem with the toaster oven. Doesn't make toast that well. Do you agree?
No. I would agree, but I found the best toaster oven ever made.
Welcome to Consumer Reports.
No, I do.
Here on the Jordan Rich Show.
And I would not normally mention a brand name.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Breville. Breville.
Okay.
And there may be people out there who have one, and we have a little secret that people who have other types don't have, and that is, it is astounding. It is the nicest toaster oven I've ever. It's not cheap, but it's a coaster oven. It's a convection oven. It's an easy bake oven. It has a small shower. It has a sauna.
Wow.
And it makes pizza, and not on its own, but I mean, you bring the ingredients and put it inside. So it's like, wow, this pizza just showed up on the inside of this oven. No, it's really quite wonderful. But speaking of toasters, I got to tell you, I went into a department store and I saw a toaster that was $380.
No kidding.
And I'm thinking to myself, the amount of toast I have, if I amortize the toaster, I'm paying $4 a slice for toast. That's a little more than I want to spend for toast. I have
pretty much every day a very healthy type of English muffin that I'm not going to go into. It's a whole wheat deal. And I love it toasted with a little butter and, believe it or not, a little drop of honey on it. That's the way I like my English. And in the office, fantastic. At home, not so great. And it's cranked all the way to the top, and it just doesn't do the trick. You've got 40 seconds.
What I do not understand is, what does a $400 toaster do that a $29 toaster? We scorch bread, do we not? I mean, you could use an iron. You could go upstairs and you could use a steam iron You could use a big lighter if you had the time.
Oh,
No,
no.
I am not. I am not about to use my money to buy a toaster for $400.